changed my life because his name was Chris Charles, and he leaned over and he said, "You got comedic timing.
Okay.
Like you got it, bro. Come back next week. I'm gonna put you back up."
Okay.
And that's what happened.
You, how long did that last?
I just started doing. I was going like every week.
All right.
So even if I wasn't getting on, I was just going and watching.
Okay.
And I just learned about the comedy culture and like the do's and don'ts, and everybody who came to town, I would go see.
Okay.
And before I knew it,
So you basically study.
I just studied,
working on your craft,
which I don't think a lot of people do.
Right.
I think a lot of people just get up on stage and they regurgitate old jokes, thinking people don't know that's an old joke.
Right.
But the audience might not know, but other comics know.
Yeah.
And I really find it offensive when people, joke steal.
Yeah.
So, but I really put a lot of time in, found my own style. I don't think people really get funny until like year 4.
Right.
And I don't think you really have a voice till like year 7.
Okay.
So, and the manager of the Improv is here, and she's over there nodding in agreement. But a lot of people think, yo, man, I've been doing comedy for 3 years, or I've been doing comedy for 10 years.
Yeah.
Regardless of how long you've been doing it, you know when you hit that stride, and you know when your style is your style. People are responding to you personally, and you know when you're being authentic. You can
Right.
feel it.
Right.
And those who don't know and just think every time I get up there it's funny.
Right.
I've been funny since I started. Well, that means you've been doing other people's jokes since you started.
Right,
and those
right.
jokes have already been tested.
Right.
So, and then before I know it, Tracy Morgan was leaving Saturday Night Live. I was in the right place at the right time to just hear the information.
Okay.
Half the thing in our business wisdom is hearing the information. That's why people have agents and all these
Yeah.
other people, because they garner, they hold the information so close
Uh-huh.
that anybody can probably do the job, but you didn't know the audition was going on.
Right.
So now you watching on TV, you was like, oh, I didn't know there was Black Panther 2. I heard about it.
Right. Right. But you didn't get the invite.
Yeah, I didn't get the
Right.
invite.
Okay.
So that's pretty much what happened. I
Okay.
heard about the SNL audition. I auditioned, and out of 50 black dudes trying to take Tracy Morgan's spot,
You got it.
they picked me and Keenan Thompson,
Okay.
who is still on the show to this day
Uh-huh.
as the longest running cast member in SNL history.
Okay. How was that experience for you though? Saturday Night Live.
Amazing. The bitches! Woo! What? Wow! I partied myself right off that show.
Did you really?
What?
It was a good time.
It was a great time, man, because in addition to just great musical guests and great hosts each week, and just being around a great cast, Maya Rudolph, Amy Poehler, Tina Fey, Jimmy Fallon, Seth Meyers, I really like my group. Jason Sudeikis, Bill Hader, Kristen Wiig, Andy Samberg, everybody in that group are pretty much comedy household names.
Okay.
And so it was just being around a great group and a great group of writers and learning how to write.
Okay.
And that's when I first started learning how to write a sketch. And
Mm-hmm.
it went from a sketch to a TV show half hour to a movie. And so it was almost like comedy boot camp being on
Right.
SNL.
Okay.
I just wasn't in it for the long game. I wasn't thinking like, oh man, 6 or 7 years in, I'm gonna be this person.
Right.
I was like, where's my movie? I was looking for my Beverly Hills Cop
Right.
in year 2.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Was that a mistake or was that
A huge mistake.
Okay.
Because not only should you pay your dues, but I was looking past the show and more towards the social aspect of it instead of focusing on the week to week, what is the funny character I'm going to come up
Okay.
with? What is the original character, and or just what is the funny sketch? What is the funny weekend update piece?
Okay.
I was like, where's the after party?
Right.
Who is in charge?
See, but you were young though, right?
No.
You were young.
I was
at the
old
time?
enough to know.
You
No.
should have known better.
I was 33.
Okay. All right.
I started, my career is kind of like Steve Harvey. I started when I was probably 26, 27.
Okay.
And I was doing insurance at the time, and I heard he was doing insurance at the time after listening to his story.
Right.
But I was working for a company called Humana, Medicare sales. And but once I made that transition, I was probably thinking I was funny at like 30,
Mm-hmm.
So I had put 3 years in. But at 33, that's when SNL came calling. And I got the job, but I was already 33. I'm grown.
Yeah.
But I didn't have any kids. I didn't have a significant other. So I was just in New York City with a dope ass apartment in the sky,
Right.
with all these pictures of me and celebrities.
And you were having a good time.
So when girls came over, and I didn't tell them really what I did, because not black people didn't watch SNL. So when they just walked in and they looked, first they loved the, oh, this is, but you said you told jokes. I said, yeah, I do stand-up comedy. Well, how you know all these people? I'm on this show, Saturday Night Live. You are not on and after 3.5 years, I was back home.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Back home?
Yeah. Like, Lauren, I got a message that, they're not bringing me back.
Uh-huh.
And so I went back to South Florida, actually. And I had all this money, and I was still single, and I was dating somebody. And her lease was up. And my dumb ass said, let's buy a house.
That sounds like a great idea.
Let's buy a house in
Right.
South Florida.
Okay.
Nowhere near LA, nowhere near New York.
Uh-huh.
But that's what I did. So I kind of took a break. And there's something about South Florida where you can say, I'm going to just do this for 3 years. And I was down there for 6 years, chilling. But in that time, I was writing for Essence Magazine.
Okay.
And I was giving relationship advice. And that happened in my last year of SNL, and it became such a hit with the magazine. That went on for like 4 years. So I was touring and doing Essence festivals.
Wait a minute. Hold up.
I don't know.
You go from comedian to giving relationship advice?
I don't know what happened, man. One thing I always knew was that I could write.
Okay.
I knew I was a great writer. I knew I was a great comedic writer. So what I was doing was giving common sense relationship advice, but making it funny.
Okay.
So it read well on paper. So the ladies at Essence ate it up. And it just became a hit column for them. And that turned into a book deal.
Okay.
So then my first book, Your Girlfriends Only Know So Much, Brothers Take on Mating and Dating, for the sisters. It got buzz. Oprah wanted to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the last minute, she said that the title was too narrow.
Okay.
I'll never forget this because I was sitting with Gayle King.
Yep.
Somebody had given Gayle King my book. She told me she read it on the plane, and we're sitting this close. She said, Finesse, they thought I was crazy in first class. Like she had thrown that book first class.
Right.
They thought I was laughing at I just laughed all through the damn book. It's so great. And they had a big monitor, and Chicago was watching us on the monitor as we did this interview in New York. And I found out those were Oprah's people, and they were going to try to like get me on the show. And then Oprah was like, I love it, I read it, but I think because it says mating and dating with sisters.
What's up? How you doing?
I said, no. But I didn't really have nothing to do with the book title.
Yeah.
Sometimes people come up with the title. I'm like, yeah, let's run with it. But that was my shot, bro. That was my shot to be on Oprah, and it kind of like went by. And then Steve Harvey came a little bit later, and he had his book and his huge success, and then the radio show, and da-da-da-da. So I found him in that lane where he had just exploded.
Right.
And I thought to myself, damn, that was my to do after that. Because everything I had been doing for the last 3 or 4 years was in that relationship. But Steve's best-selling book, and then, the movie with Will Packer, Think Like a Man, I was just like, all right, so I wasn't even in the movie. Right. So what can I do? So then me and the relationship didn't work out. I moved back to LA, and here I am trying to figure it out when, boom, Disney Channel said, are you back in LA? And I was like, yeah.
So they just call you up, or they call your agent?
They called my agent.
Okay.
And they said, hey, we're looking for a Disney dad for a show called Ant Farm. And at the time, I was like, I'm not going on Disney. I don't like kids like that. You know what I mean? And my agent was like, just go meet them.
Right.
And so what I found out when I went there, it was an actual audition. They had the sides there, and it was a producer session. The kids were already there, and they came up to me like, I'm such a huge fan. Oh my God, I loved you on Comic View, da-da-da-da. Like they knew, hey, I loved you on Saturday Night Live, da-da-da-da. I'm like, okay, cool. So we'll see you in like 15 minutes, right? And I'm like, well, I thought this was just So I had the audition. Okay, well, so I started studying.
Then it got real.
It got real, man.
Quick, didn't it?
And when I walked in the room, it was like Tony Rock and Kadeem Hardison and all the where are they and where have they been, black actors in this room.
Right.
And I was like, all right, well, I don't want to embarrass myself. And sure enough, I went in there and the room was full with execs, and I started reading with the kids, and I nailed it. And what I didn't know, I just ad-libbed.
Okay.
And when I was done, I said, thank you guys for having me. And I didn't want that job. And they called me that night. They said, you got the job. And
then you were on.
And then I was on. And I was
how long were you on there?
3.5 years.
Wow, okay.
26 episodes a season because usually it's a 12 episode arc season. But because kids grow so quick, they try to so they have to get tutors and all that stuff so they can go to school and be on the show. And the tutors are on the show, you know what I mean? But 3.5 years, bro, but it wasn't bad because it was a lot of episodes and Disney pays pretty decent. And then they rerun the stuff forever.
So you get residuals.
When I tell you, I still go to the mailbox. I still go to Okay, I'm about to really tell my business, man. I went to the mailbox before I got on the plane to DC. $4,500 check.
Really?
$4,500 check. I just walked to the mailbox and was like, "What is this from?"
Life is good.
You know, and so, but at the same time, you know what else came?
What was that?
3 more checks, and one was for 6 cents, one was for 5 cents, and
What
one
were-
was for 78 cents.
What were those?
Just stuff from like Meet the Browns.
Oh,
you know, like
right. All the stuff
yeah,
right.
stuff. So it, on a weekly basis,
Yeah.
checks will come in. But I've been in the business for over 15 years,
Okay.
so I've done so much television, and I have a couple of movies under my belt.
Right.
But with the resale of shows that you don't even know are playing in Holland and playing in China and playing on wherever, you know, they send you a little check.